So it's actually called caprolite, is the dinosaur poo. And that's some a real good example of it there. So I've just bumped into this chap who was actually a retired science teacher.
Yeah.
So he's actually kindly showed us some actual really precious finds here.
Like I see the tide coming and I'm like, I'm getting
Look at that.
You're right.
That is a print.
Stay with me. I'm the one who...
Some sort of carnivore.
I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna get stuck here?
And these are hooved.
So does it all go on the...
A hooved type of dinosaur, maybe a diplodocus, something like that. I think the chap did mention what it was. But they're actually upside down. So the cast, that is the depression, so we're looking at it from the underside of it. Pretty amazing stuff. So a fine example of more dinosaur poo.
Yep.
It's a diarrhea.
Yeah, diarrhea.
With kids around, you got to be very...
Come on, they know what diarrhea is.
Did you play policy with the dinosaurs on? Imagine a 50-ton Brontosaurus lying down in soft setting. Yeah, right, eh?
Could have, I don't know. Wow.
Oh, I feel like I'm such a child, eh?
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
Wow.
What I'm showing you is these are called coprolites.
Yep.
They're fossilised dinosaur poop.
Yeah, right, okay.
Of the carnivores that eat a lot of bones.
Yeah.
And they solidify. And because of the mass of them around, it's not randomly spread. So if you've got 50 tonne of free meat available, you're going to have these carnivores staying there until it's all consumed.
Yeah.
Now they're going to relieve themselves not too far away, are they?
Yeah, that's it.
So here you go.
Yeah, right.
It's stuck on there like nothing.
Just like yesterday.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Still strong.
Yeah, well, from now on you'll be seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
we notice it.
They'll just grow on you.
Is this just how the rock's worn away that you get this pattern? I saw a rock over there.
That's you remember over there with the was it grey sediment? I think every now and then a very slow moving lot of clay sort of settle all around here. That there is a part of a dinosaur track. That
This-
dip. Yeah.
This one, yeah.
That's what it degenerates into.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that pattern on the grey rock, that's called dendritic drainage, just like your veins and arteries.
Okay.
Anyway, have a look at this.
Oh, yeah.
You go up that side. You sit in the tummy. I'll take a photograph of you if you like.
Yeah, of course.
But I get people to say, can you hear the tummy rumble? Well, I had a big tummy after 130 million years, still might be. Because you saw that picture I took of that other lady? Smile. There you go. Got it? Now, what also led me to think it was a dinosaur was up here is where the shoulder. See that sharp part of it around there?
Yeah.
That's up pretty well unnatural. It's sedimentary rock. There you have it here.
Okay.
So its head was out that way.
Yeah.
tail up that way.
Yeah.
Heart, lung, stomach, legs out that.
Wow.
Now, can you tell us, did it have a natural death?
Well, it doesn't seem to have disturbed these layers by
Right.
kicking or trying to get up or whatever.
So,
It just
died.
lay down and died.
Yeah.
Now, because of the different layers of these coprolites, I suspect there were probably, over the tens of thousands of years, quite a couple of deaths.
Yeah.
Like you see in the rock over there, that dip,
Yep. Yeah.
that's
and
probably a part of one.
Yeah.
How do you know it's that?
We can only guess. But the presence, as you see around the corner, of these coprolites right next to it. Yep.
Okay.
And you see the slope sort of grading up towards the tail. And yeah. Well, that's the only thing you can reasonably deduce from.
So they were doing a lot of eating over there as well then, weren't they? And going that way as well.
Yep. Well, as you see, just around the corner, I'll show you. Have you seen the tracks beside the park? Oh, well,
No.
that's another part of the tour. I take people.
Okay.
But you're going to see distinct layers of these coprolites,
Right.
separated, 30, 40 centimetres. Okay. Those groups I have with kids, so you take lots of photos. This is your next science project.
Yeah.
Already done for you.
Yeah, well, it would be good.
And I tell them when I go, ask your teacher to give you an A+, because that's what I would do.
That will all be tonight, won't
Yep.
it?
Yeah.
Well, you can see here there is a layer on all along there.
Maybe everyone's just walking and.
Mm.
Isn't it? It is.
I think it's a lot of them.
Yeah, they were eating.
Yeah. Eating
And you'll see,
here.
and you see another layer up here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Goes all the way around through the other side.
So we can deduce there were a lot of dinosaurs in this area.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they would have to continue to be on the move, because sustaining a 50-ton
Yeah.
body mass
Yeah.
would mean they'd eat out an area very quickly.
Yeah.
And so I in some ways think this area and the one over at Winton, Hewarden, over Rindora Way in Queensland, was probably a migratory tract. They would circulate.
Right.
A lot of this, I've been told, of this red sandstone came from material that was worn away to form the bungles, which now has become the Fitzroy River.
Yeah.
A bit like the east coast in the mountain range, like Himalayas in Broken Hills and sort of
Yeah.
Australia. There's a lot of them. So there's more there, which is the same as the level over there. There's that other level up there. This was probably a bigger critter.
Yeah.
Well, you've got probably good 10,000 years of deposit between the two.
Yeah. It's quite a layer of it, isn't it?
Mm.
Front is interested.
She is. She's fascinated.
Is that oyster shell?
Could be, or some shellfish of some descriptor, isn't it?
Shiny, isn't it?
Yeah. Have to catch up the tour, love. Free tour.
Yeah. Serendipity.
I think she likes him.
Nice rocks, aren't they?
Mm.
Now, you know when you walk in the sand, you kick back a little bit of sand?
Yeah.
So that's behind you. So you kick back, kick back.
Yeah.
This is walking that way.
Yeah.
Take your photo, put your foot near it and say, ouch.
So what dinosaur is this one then?
That's like a brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus.
Massive.
It would be, this size would be about a teenager.
Yeah.
There's some, on top of these little rocky outcrops along the Dell Beach, there's one there that's got 3 sets of tracks, medium-sized one, a fairly large one with a little track in the middle of it. Maybe following its mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. And how do you know about it? Have someone like me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Because there's no signage around.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. That's cool. We would have walked straight past it.
A lot of people do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet, yeah.
Fascinating.
And I'd say that they're more than this is what is a real rock pool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because the stones in there are weird away. Now the Aboriginal thought that these things were strange rock pools. Somehow they were being formed without these. And because they had no concept of a large critter. Like the largest one anyone might have seen was these mega marsupial.
Yeah.
But I think they killed off it. That's
Yeah.
another story.
Yeah.
But there'll be tracks through all there.
Yeah.
So the dinosaurs are not part of the Aboriginal culture
Thanks,
then?
sir.
They're not talked about in their stories?
They couldn't conceive anything that big. They could only relate to those things which they could see around them. And they had very little concept of that. Like a lot of our early religions said, you know, were formed in 4,000 years ago in 7 days. Well, the whole notion of millions of years.
Bronte, this way. Bronte, come. Good girl.
So it's I understand the impact on their belief system. Like our ancestors had probably 100, maybe 1,000 years to adjust to hunter-gatherers to
Yes.
agriculture
Yep.
to industrialising.
Yeah.
And in our lifetime, we've been coping with the digital revolution.
Yep.
Like, how safe is our money in the bank these days?
We're stopping at the Seventh Day Adventist Church Overflow,
Yeah,
and
that's where we play bridge.
oh, is it?
Tuesday.
Right, but you won't. I mean, surely as a science teacher, you agree with the theory of evolution, do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, which they don't, do they? They just.
Well,
think
it's again, it's a time-related thing. If you compress evolution into a very short period, it looks like creation. And in fact, that's probably how the universe came.
Yeah.
But people have a hard time grappling with the dimension of time. A lot of the people I talk to over there, 130, they have no idea.
No, you can't conceive that sort of time frame, can you?
So, you know, it's a matter of, to me, a matter of broadening your mind. Now, my understanding sort of fades away before, you know, with the Big Bang theory, just what happens in all that for this to have happened.
Yeah. Which did take a long time. You know, it's, you know, the Earth formed.
And
It wasn't just like this,
There's
was it?
always the side of things, creation of man. I would say, like our Neanderthals came out of Africa. No one has ever yet detected or come across the Neanderthal Y chromosome. That leads me to think between us Homo sapiens and the Neanderthals that there was some sort of conflict. Like if you're chasing a herd of mammoths and you wouldn't have to kill it, just wound it, falls down dead. you got food for a week. Now, Homo sapiens were specialists. They had to form societies of understanding, whereas the Neanderthals were generalists. And if you see a Neanderthal trying to take your meat, what are you going to do? Kill them. Because there's no police around, no human rights. Survival of the fittest. Might makes right. Same today with Russia. Trying to exert its influence. And it was the same. The Aboriginals say in their a couple of TV programs that they evolved here, but no one's ever asked them the question, what did you evolve from? The only things that were here were marsupials and monotremes. There weren't any placentals, except probably the bats that flew in. And you wouldn't want to evolve from them, I don't think. So they also say that that didn't come from Africa. That's their story. And you can understand the limitations of their time. They also say the Aboriginal culture is the longest surviving culture. Well, there's been a number of papers written on the western division of pygmies. Now, those pygmies would have only have to have travelled probably 1,000 kilometres, whereas the Aboriginals travel all the way through India, Indonesia, archipelago to get here. And if you have a look at the two groups today, the pygmies are fully assimilated to the jungle, supplies all their needs. They don't have roads to drive cars to the supermarket, or governments to give them free handouts, all the rest of it, or free houses. That's completely unknown to the Aboriginal traditional ways of living. So I would say back in 1986, I think it was, the last of the hunter-gathering Aboriginals were taking off the Tenemai, they called the Tenemai 9, and they were near to starvation, and the cousin said, come with us, we'll take you to a place where water comes out of taps. And I thought that was the best idea. Now from there, that was probably the end of their culture. Because they no longer are fully dependent upon their hunting gathering skills.
That's it,
And I see with the Aboriginal men, they would have spent most of their time hunting and gathering, sharpening their spears, target practice, what have you. But all that's gone now. Because the woman of the house gets government grants, go to the supermarket, gets all the food, clothes, whatever. And so what are they left doing?
That's it.
They've been disenfranchised.
Yes, exactly.
And when you've got nothing to do, what do you do?
Well, you get bored, don't you? And then that's when bad habits kick in.
Drink, drugs.
It's a shame.
Thank you so much for this.
Have a good day.
Say hello there, Emma.
Well.
Thank you for that. It's been very interesting.
Well, I've spoken to a few anthropologists around the place here, and so those Aboriginal ancestors that came down to Malaysia, Indonesia, they were coastal dwellers. Get their fish and shellfish and things like that. But then the Asian farmers came down with their sheep, their goats, their oxen and chickens and what have you. Now, if you were a hungry Malaysian Aboriginal and you saw a goat standing there, wouldn't run, domesticated, wouldn't run away, what are you going to do?
Kill it. And eat it.
And if you were the Asian farmer who owned it, what are you going to do?
Kill them.
Well, if you can't negotiate and get an agreement that these animals, goats, pigs, all the rest of it, are private property, they aren't natural stuff, because they would have known what was their natural, then you leave them alone. Because we had the same problem here down in Tasmania, because the British brought over their cattle, their sheep, domesticated. They were on Aboriginal land. I don't want to go hunt after a fast-moving kangaroo.
That slow lumbering thing,
So they were nearly wiped out. Now, a lot of the Aboriginals deny that because of it was virtually a Holocaust,
Yes.
genocide.
Yeah.
But they've traced, the mitochondria, and that's passed down the female line.
Yeah.
Mitochondria in the women in East Timor are the same as those over here. That's humanity.
Mm.
You can't condemn them because that was the way it was.
Yeah.
Just that we know we're probably a little more civilised, or some of us are a little more civilised than others.
That's fascinating stuff, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and it's continuing. Like, the world was going to happen to Australia at some time.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't, and that's a reality
Yeah.
our Aboriginal friends just have a hard time with.
Yeah.
I think inwardly they would like all of us foreigners to clear out.
Oh, probably so. Yeah, and understandable to a point, really.
But as human beings, we have moved to all those areas that are habitable and can sustain us. And we're at the stage now where we've virtually run out of space.
That's it. Yeah. Which then leads on to space, because trying to leave this planet to obviously then colonise other places to keep the human race going, isn't it? That's going to be the next big shift as such in humanity.
Well, everyone talks about pollution and climate control, all the rest of it, but very few of them ever mention population control.
Yeah, that's a massive thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Because we're still in that might makes right mentality.
Yes.
No one wants to give up, like China had to
Yes.
go,
Yeah.
to their credit, but they've relaxed that now.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
Because they're now in competition with the Americans.
Yes. So they want
And
more of a population.
consumerism,
That's it. Yeah.
demand,
Yeah.
supply, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But we're going to hit the wall. It's like in science class, you do the experiment with a petri dish, fill it with agar gel, put one microbe in the centre,
Yes.
hits the wall.
Yeah.
And that happens with every successful species,
Yes. Yeah.
including us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't happen in our time.
No.
I agree for our grandkids.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. There's going to be so much change in the near future, isn't there? Really.
Well, I've looked around, I've done some research looking around at where these possibilities could be triggered. Now, in India, when it collided with the Asian continent, there was massive lava flows formed the Deccan Plateau. Underneath that is an artesian basin, and up to about 1950, of the population of India was fairly stable, around half a billion, 500 million. Famine and drought and whatever, ups and downs. When they discovered this artesian water, the population has virtually exploded.
Yeah.
Well, it's up about 1.3 billion now.
Yeah.
And this water hasn't been replaced, so they've been graphing the depletion as to when it will run out. It's a finite resource, and around 2030 supply will equal demand, and then it'll just fade away.
Wow. So that's not far away, is it?
So 2050
Yeah.
it'll be completely drained out.
Yeah.
And if the monsoon fails in that year,
Yep.
we're
Yeah.
not going to have millions dying,
Yes.
or tens of millions.
Yeah.
We're going to have
Yeah.
hundreds,
Yeah.
like 100 million Indian deaths
Yeah.
in what would be probably around 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
So where are they going to go? We're going to try and go to the west, to Pakistan.
Yep.
What have you got there?
Well, it's a very much a contested place, anyway, isn't it, between Pakistan and India? But
You've got a nuclear war on your hands.
yeah. Yeah.
If I try to go over the Himalayas
Yes.
to the north, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Who's waiting over the other side? China.
Yeah.
Nuclear war on your hands.
Yeah.
If you try to go out east with Bangladesh,
Mhm.
which is already a basket case and probably might even trigger before that,
Mm.
they'd be like a plague of locusts
Yeah.
coming down
Yeah.
the Malay,
Yeah.
Indonesia archipelago
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah. Mm.
And they'll be dying by their hundreds of thousands in boats and what have you.
Mm.
That's only one trigger.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Nigeria,
Yeah.
there's China, of course.
Mhm.
It'll be a different story, probably a more political thing.
Yeah.
And then there's Russia. but who knows what they're going to be up to.
Yeah.
So 2050, did you say?
Yep. You
Yeah.
check it up.
Yeah.
The Artesian basin under the deckhand.
Might still be around.
Well, for we
See
would
it.
be, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Never know, do
well
you?
I said we won't see the effects. Like, I don't know how the government here will. The humanitarian side will just be depleted, and it'll be look after your own kind.
Yeah. In a way, going backwards, I suppose, isn't it then? Because it's back to like you were saying, you just defend your own thing, don't you? If someone's interfering with anything of yours, you just kill them, and it's
Law and order breaks down.
that's it. Society breaks down. Civilization breaks down, doesn't it? And then
Well,
that's it.
we have the intelligence to know this is coming, and we have the intelligence to know what to do.
Exactly. To find
But
solutions.
we don't want to do it,
Yeah.
not because of any for our nationalistic, selfish reasons.
No. Comes down to money, really, doesn't it? And how much of a thirst to do something like that is, really a passion for that, because it's trying to save humanity as a whole, isn't it?
Well, the politicians, like here in Australia, with our employment shortage, we've been relying upon overseas skills coming in.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We ought to be training our own kind
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah. That's with the whole gas and oil thing now, obviously, like you say with Russia. I mean, I was surprised that we'd actually really refine oil that much. You think really, again, being self-sufficient that you could just do that, and then obviously you're not going to be so reliant like now for oil and petrol, for one thing.
Well, they've been closing all the refineries down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Sydney had
Yeah.
Total way back,
Yeah.
had Caltex, Kurnell, had Shell, near Parramatta.
Yeah.
They're all closed.
Yeah. And
Just
we had
storage yards.
a Shell one down in Perth, but I don't know if that's still going or not, whether that closed down or not. But yeah, it's just, you just wonder why. To a point, I mean, you've got to have world trade, etc. Obviously, to if you want a fridge, it's not going to just always going to be bought in Australia, made by Australians. It's going to come from elsewhere as well. So there's trade, but then again, you've got to be self-sufficient to a point. If there's a pending potential natural disaster or something like that, or terrible wars or whatever.
Well, we know it's a very real possibility,
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
but we're faced with all these other dilemmas.
That's it. But we're still here. We're still here, aren't we? And I don't know,
Well,
but for how long?
Well, the best day in any organism's ancestry lifestyle
Yes.
is the day before it crashes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And the here and now.
Enjoy it while you got it.
Exactly. Good speaking to you. Thank you for showing us around.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you know me by my red hair.
Yes.
This is a dinosaur hat. General
Yes.
Motors.
Yeah. Hold
Huge
on.
dinosaur.
Oh,
I
thank
can't
you.
understand that.
Another thing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Because
That's
brought
it.
up with Holdens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drive. I've got two
Yeah.
Holdens myself,
Yeah.
and they just give us a flick.
That's it. Pretty much overnight as well, wasn't it? But
Right. You're saying I want to go, aren't you?
yeah, she's fed up now. You're bored now, aren't you, Bronte? Yes. So we're thinking now this is our sort of last exploration really for Broome. We're going to go to Cable Beach tonight, just for a wander around and maybe see the camels again. But that's it really. You've seen the camels before, all being well, on the other video. But that's us for Broome, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next stop is Port Hedland, Karratha, and we are going to go to a Bullara station. We went there last year. We'd like to go again, so we're making us way that way.
If there's room in Bullara station, that is.
Oh, we'll get in. We'll get in.
You'll get in for the scones, if nothing else.
Little bung, no worries. All right, catch you later.
Bye.
Bye from Broome.